Hello viewers, Flash Motorsport here, and in today's video we are going to be doing a Spotlight Aston Martin Vantage. So this is a little time trial run. Faster time, the better time you get, the more up the leaderboard you go. And my position right now is 9,489 because I'm at the bottom because I've not done it yet. So at least I'm in the top 100 of players in the world. And it's only downhill from here because this car is not pleasant to drive. I've driven buses that turn better than this thing. So here is my first time on this track, and I think it's the second time I've been in this car because I brought this car for another event series. I can't remember what it was. I think something was single player, and I drove it and I couldn't stand it. But this is an event, and I can only improve. But there's my stopping, not stopping, off the track. Why not? So I've got to learn, skip lap. So I have to learn my braking points as well as how fast I need to hit the turns and things like that. But I seem to have this corner alright. This car is, what it is when you turn in, the weight catches up to you about an hour later. So you turn in, it's alright, and then suddenly, oh, here comes the boat, and it's just awful. And the brakes are terrible on this thing as well. Look at that car behind. That's the ghost I'm trying to beat. His time is 3 minutes 45, which doesn't seem too hard to beat. The way things are going up to now, it shouldn't be too hard to beat. But yeah, so 50 miles an hour around this bend, and the car's real struggling. So really these few laps I'm doing here is a case of me learning the track, how fast to go around the turns, and trying to better myself, knowing where my braking points are. As you can see, the car is a bit, I don't know, it's just, it feels very heavy. I mean, it is a heavy car, but considering it's, it's an Aston Martin, it shouldn't feel this way. I don't know what Forza's done to it. But yeah, it definitely feels like you're driving, one of those big planes. And it's heavy wind, and it's just not doing what you ask it to do nicely. Either way, 1 minute 10, I beat Russland 20:48. And my next ghost is behind me, which is a good start, I guess. I braked before the 100 board. The best braking spot I worked out further on is about 150. And you can get this turning just nice here. It's quite tricky really because the camber of the road really pushes you out. But on that turn I braked before the 100, hold it in third gear here, power on, move over to the right. As soon as the curb comes in, stop braking a bit more. Then rub the curb on the inside, rub the curb on the outside, and start accelerating now. The track limits are quite narrow, so and the curb and the green behind it isn't very grippy, so it's not really worth sometimes going onto it. I say the camber of the road is a little bit off, so when you're turning like this you do tend to slide off the track. That lap is going to give me a 107, which means I beat Alken 52:32. And my next ghost is already winning a little bit. So again, braking at 150. I let off too early. It causes me to slide off the track. And come back in. And I just haven't got the turn he's had. So he's a bit better than me on that one. Just going over onto the curbs a bit. And I'm starting to make a little bit of time back up. And hopefully these next two turns I can make a bit more time on him. Seems to be a good car length ahead of me, which is a bit much. Alright, I've nailed this corner. Right, power on. Now this one's a tricky one. Brake early, down to third or fourth, rub the curb, power on, and I was very slow there. And I just wreck the ending of the lap where I could have won that one. But let's try again. The great thing is, you know damn well when the go starts again whether you had a good exit of the last turn, because their run up will show you if they're faster than you or not. So again, brake in and then try and turn it in a bit sooner, using the gears to try and get a bit more rotation on the car. Sometimes kicking the back out just enough works really well, but as you can see, I messed up that turn just well and truly. But I do catch him up and have a better exit this time. So brake in here, rub the curb, and then the other side, try and catch that sausage, and over we go. Maximising the track length, width, just getting that power a bit more. Braking a bit much here again, but you've got to be careful, the track limits are real tight, and this corner here is an absolute bugger to get right. Anyway, I'm ahead by 0.074 a second. That's all I need to get a 106.9. I've beaten Ratch. I'm not going to try that. Now my next race is Toyo RCG. My third biggest weak spot is this first turning here. Getting the braking spot right, getting the turning angle right, and getting on the power at the right place. Using second gear for the power, turning in. I turned in too late, I should have turned in earlier. They have much a better line than I have. I carried just too much speed here. I mean, it's alright maximising the track like that, but when the back end comes round after, it's what really catches you out here. So I rub the curb here, and rub the curb on this side as well. And I just skid a bit too wide, enough to be put off track. That's why I say the track limits are very narrow. You've got to keep the wheels on the line. I'll maximise this corner, that corner very well. This one here, getting better at it, but it has a better exit than me, so this lap should be the better one. Let's come in, braking just before the 100 board, just about 150. I go in way too hot. And hopefully my idea is to bring it back around and have the better exit, have the longer, faster exit. This is where I keep making a mistake, not rubbing that curb, and that's what's costing me the most amount of time, not coming in quick enough. But I'm really pushing it. As you can see, the back end's coming out, getting on the power just too quickly, a little bit too much. But I'm now starting to eke ahead. Getting these corners a bit better. I think the idea is to have the car a little bit of a slide to it. Coming in for the final turn, I'm quite a bit ahead. Car sliding out, keeping the power, controlling it, and I'm 0.6 seconds ahead on that split time there. What am I on the lap? 0.6 seconds nearly there as well. Lap number 8 is against Keptic. And I brake way too late again. Holding it in third gear, seeing if I have better control of the vehicle and maybe a quicker exit. But it doesn't sometimes feel that way. But this time, over the curb. Maximising the track there. The curb, clip the sausage. Going right over. And having a much better exit. Just doesn't seem that fast, like you seem real slow. As you can see now, that was sort of my strong point, but in between there must have been acceleration because it caught up quite quickly. But I missed the going over the curb there. That's what cost me time on that turn there. I rub the grass here and power on. And that's my exit. There's a little bit weak still, but I'm again 0.4 seconds faster. So in total, 0.6, 0.4, 1 second faster than when I first started racing. My next race is with Gaz Top 28. Now, these next few laps, I ended up having to take a bit of a break. So as you can see, I took this corner way too wide. They have much better line than I did. Turning here, which wasn't too bad. I started making up a little bit of time here. And then I ended up pushing a little bit too hard on the exit of the next bend. And it all started going downhill from there, to be quite honest. I just couldn't seem to get the time back. And I was just like now flopping around. Give up. Let's try again. There's no point even finishing that lap. Start off afresh. Lap 9. Turning here, just clipping the apex over there. Over. Yep. And you can see I've got such a bad turn here. Really poor exit as well. This is going to cost me time when I start the lap itself. But let's try. And I'm going to try and see where he starts braking to where I start braking and see if we can match that as well. But we're looking at for the 100, just before the 100 board. Let's say 150. I get a much better turn in there, but I was too late on the power. They were on the power before me, had a much better exit. And trying to catch up with a Ghost is where I was going wrong, really. You know, catching up to the power and then braking too late, missing the corners, missing the apexes, not maximising the track, just trying to catch up to a situation that I could just start off again better next lap. But a good few seconds, you know, second, maybe more ahead of me. So this lap's wrecked anyway. But I have a better exit there, as you can see now. I catch up. And then turning in, this is where I lose most of my time. There we are. 0.4 seconds down from my fastest lap. So try again. Coming up to the end here, I've got a much better run out of the last turn. Just a bit ahead. I brake a good bit earlier this time. They brake far later than I do, so I let off and let back on. Try and carry a bit of the speed, trail brake it a little bit. It's not the easiest on the Logitech setup, but you could try. No harm in trying. So I take these turns a bit tighter, thinking I can carry a bit more speed out of the exit, but I just don't have it. So turning a bit deep here, carrying a bit too much speed, sliding the back end out, and that's it for me. After taking a short break, having something to eat, some tea, decide let's rattle it again. I take this corner quite steadily, trying to think I'm going to maximise my exit out of here, have the fastest run up down the straight, and that will give me a tenth of a second ahead. I'm trying to think logically here, because my strengths are obviously a bit more on the straights on this car. Braking not so much, as well as turning not so much. But there's no, you know, where like with the Honda I could sit there and change the tuning settings of it. Only thing you could change on the Aston is the tyre pressures. So it's really quite limited on what you can do. So a lot of it is driver skill and a lot of it is tyre pressures. As you can see, the Aston is a little bit ahead of me here. I'm closer than I have been up to now. Closer than I ever was before to an extent. Take this corner real sharp, and again maximising every bit of track limit I can. Holding it on a nice edge and praying. This is my stronger corner now after many practices and restarts, so I can get this one just right. This one here not so much. But I am parallel. I mean, there can't be much in between us, and I'm just cross line 0.004 seconds quicker. So my next race is with Crafty Wolf. I'm braking at the 150 mark, trying to carry a bit more speed in, then putting on the brakes again, trying to get the nose down into the tarmac. I'm coming out of the turn in second gear for maximum acceleration out of the turn, and then trying to maximise as much of the track as I can, because like I said, this car is like driving a boat. It really goes over. But as you can see, Wolfie's had a better exit than I had. So I'm playing catch up here. I'm really catching up, and then again the better exit compared to me, and I go off the track, which I don't think it invalidates your track, but if you beat somebody it's marked as a dirty track, so I don't like that. So basically this lap's thrown away anyway. So the idea is have the better exit here, faster down the straight. But I'm 0.088 seconds ahead. Nope, I think they're beside me now. See, I lost so much time coming out there. that this had a much better run off than I did. So I'm looking where they braking. They're braking about the 150, the same as me, so I know I'm getting the braking area just about right. It's this turn here, which I'm now getting stronger at. I'm coming out ahead, straight across the curb as much as you can. And again, try and carry a bit more speed than what I am. Easier said than done, because they're coming out the turns much quicker than I am. Again, just missing that curb just a little bit this time. But I'm carrying a bit more speed, a bit more control onto the curb. And I know my strong corner's coming up here. Right over 4th gear, as fast as, you know, as you dare. And then coming out of here, 3rd gear, full throttle. And I skid it. I just skid it. But so I have a poor exit. Oh, not enough. Not enough. Many laps later, decide to have a look at what the top 50th Ghost is doing now, to see how far behind I am from them and what they're doing different to what I am doing. You know, I mean, by braking spots, acceleration, turning, how much of the track limits they are using. As you can see, they have a much better exit from here than I do, but we all are braking about the 150 board, turning in, and he's just clipping that apex where I was a little bit late on it, and has a wider exit than what I choose to do, and then right over onto the limits there. And again, just rubbing the curb on this side, and has a much better exit than I do. Same corner again, I'm coming over a good bit, and they just seem to have a much cleaner and a much straighter exit. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm rubbing that curb, is that's what's costing me time? Should I not be going over that curb itself? Now, heading back into racing a rival that's got a better time than me, my best at the minute is 105.86, and my rival is 105.601. So, but now, after many more laps, practicing and trying has paid off. I'm much smoother through the turns. I'm still losing time, just a little bit through the turns, but I'm much faster at approaching them and sticking through them. So, as you can see now, catching up here, and I'm faster coming out of that turn here. Now, I know, like I say, I know this one I'm very confident with. Just cutting across like that, just enough, and I'm braking again. And power on very quickly, very early, and away we go. I have 3 attempts faster than my best lap up to now, which gives me a 105.51. My next rival is 105.51 as well, so we have something in common. The only way is up or down. But I'm taking this very narrow 2nd gear and then power on, but not full power. I'm feathering the throttle about halfway and then maxing it at the end to stop the back end coming out. You can see I'm really onto the track limits here, coming through these turns much quicker. Again, just clipping the apex there. I've been watching, like I say, and how much quicker I am now through these turns than I was before, by one, not going over all the curbs and maximising the track limits like I just did there. Again, that's going to make an improvement. So up to now, what am I? 3-second improvement, 2-second improvement, another 0.19 improvement. I didn't come out of that turn the strongest, but that's me beating that name there. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but as you can see, my exit wasn't the best here. Now I've got to beat Quash. Took a few laps, but this is the lap that beats him. You can see I'm a little bit deep here, but I control the exit much better using the gears to my advantage. Over the curb, really over it. Try and maximise and keep my speed up. Again, using the gears to get the back end round, and then chop it into 3rd, full throttle. Get that kick in acceleration. As you see, I'm 0.2 0.214 seconds faster on that segment. But this S here is my weak spot. Improvement does need to be made on that. Let's come down here for the final 2 turns, over the curb, maximising that track limit, keeping the speed up. As you can see, that was a huge improvement for me compared to the Ghost behind. And coming out of there a little bit hot, but holding the speed and holding the power down and controlling it makes me a 104.7. That's 0.6 seconds faster again. But now I'm 755 in the world. This is where I leave it. I'm in the top 8% of the players in the world, and I was aiming for top 10. So I'm pretty happy the way things have ended off. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.